Westminster Council, if you're looking for a job, Westminster Council are hiring right now an executive assistant, and it's on, you get between £54,000 and £64,000 working in Westminster, nice part of the world, or at least it used to be.
Only
And
36 hours.
yeah, only
Typical
36
public
hours.
servant job.
Yeah, pretty good money, pretty good money. And then let's have a look at the specifications for this job, shall we? Right. So the council is committed to achieving diverse shortlists to support our desire to increase the number of staff from underrepresented groups in the workforce. We especially encourage applications from a global majority. People who are black, Asian, brown, dual heritage, indigenous to the global south, and or have been racialized as ethnic minorities. I don't understand. Formerly known as black and minority ethnic background. And while the role is open to all applicants, we will utilise the positive action provisions of the Equality Act 2010 to appoint a candidate from a global majority background where there is a choice between two candidates of equal merit. If you are from a global majority background, you can self-declare this to the hiring manager as part of our positive action commitments. So basically, fellas, if you fancy yourself 54 grand from Westminster Council for working 36 hours a week as an executive assistant, probably sat on your ass, drinking a cup of coffee, eating a donut at your desk. Well, if you're white, sod off is the answer to that. If you're part of the global majority, because they like to remind us all that you whiteys, you're actually the minority, you horrible, inherently racist beasts, well, there's no point applying. No point applying at all. And this is in law. They get away with it in law. And the Tories did that. So I just wanted to end on that highlight. On that complete depressing.
The thing that annoys me the most is the term global majority. I mean, how insane have we become where even the phrase ethnic minority is now too triggering. Exactly. They've changed the language that they came up themselves with in the first place. Ethnic minority is too triggering, and we've got to change it to global majority. I mean, come on, get a grip. These people need a life. Clearly, 36 hours isn't enough for them because they got time for this crap.
Well, they came up with woke as well, and then now they're kind of trying to disown that at a million miles an hour as well.
Yeah. I mean, Connie, are you excited to leave university and go into the job market as a white
I guess
person?
Chloe and I have a bit of an advantage over
oh, you're a woman.
You and Will. I mean, at least you're gay, Darren.
Yeah. Well,
I'm literally the bottom,
the wrong
straight,
kind
white,
of gay.
privately educated male. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. So, I went to a state comprehensive, so I've got that as well. Box ticked.
I feel like I am. As much as I despise the Tory government for what they did, especially, I mean, the worst part of it being Theresa May trying to introduce self-ID, and thank God for Brexit, because without it, that actually probably would have been passed sort of under the table, as the majority of self-ID laws do.
You're welcome.
I don't know if this is me just being too soft on myself, but because I know what it's like to believe in that stuff. I mean, to be fair, I was a child, when I was 16, when I believed in all of that stuff. I feel like people who do that genuinely think that they're doing the right thing. And clearly there has been a huge shift in the Conservative Party, and Kemi Badenoch can see how all of that was wrong. And that's why I really liked her as a leader, because she was a woman of an ethnic minority in this country who can call all of it out. And I think I don't hate the Tories as much as I imagine that you do.
I think well, I would, but I just to give you a brief explanation on that. I campaigned heart and soul for the Conservatives both in 2017 and in 2019, and my heart was in it both times. They were accessing communities that I felt had been ignored and sidelined in the so-called Red Wall up here in the likes of County Durham and all the rest of it. In 2019, I cried when Concert, where I was born, went blue for the first time ever in its history. And the Tories betrayed that vote. They just messed everything up. So I find it hard to forgive and forget in that unique example. All for Christian charity and forgiveness, but I draw the line at being taken for a mug not once but twice. So, that's my explanation and rationale behind that one. But I would say that this here is racism that was put in place by the Conservative Party.
Of course. Yes, but obviously, like the civil service, it is a civil service job. They're public servants.
Well,
so
Stephen says conservative my arse, by the way. So, and Stephen is never wrong. He'll tell you this.
The thing is, at the time they were trying to fight this nasty party, and Theresa May was trying to fight that, we're not the nasty party. So they were trying to bring some woke stuff in to make them seem, I know that's very obvious, but I understand why they did it. I just don't think they ever realised the extent of how ridiculous it all was.
We all understand why they did it, but they didn't have the courage or the capacity to be able to make the alternative argument. Like, do you think Margaret Thatcher would have caved?
No.
Of course she wouldn't. She would have said, no. There is an alternative way, and she would have had the strength and the fortitude not to just cave to the vicissitudes of the moment, and she would have said, this is how the world should work. I don't think it is, well, we need to have, kind of sympathy for the Conservatives because the way the world was going meant they had to fall in line. We need to say, you need to do better because your party, your strand of conservatism has done better before. Your country has done better before. Like, go, like, Connie, do what I do when I'm hungover and just go watch Margaret Thatcher YouTube clips, and it's like the best Sunday morning you'll ever have.
Point, but we also have to remember that Margaret
can do better.
Massively on the other end of the spectrum with Section 28, and I know people make that comparison, and it's not the same thing. But Section 28 was also awful. So I think to compare
what's happened in schools, though, Connie, since then, not teaching. So the idea of not teaching homosexual relationships in schools, well, it's gone the other way now, and you can learn about anal sex at school. I don't think that's appropriate.
Is good. It doesn't mean that they're both, that one is good and one isn't. I just think it's unfair to compare Margaret Thatcher to what Theresa May was, or even David Cameron was having to deal with.
Oh God, why? It's a bloody waste of skin.
Margaret Thatcher had a Cold War to deal with. I'm sorry, we all have our challenges.
Yeah. James says, by the way, that we should all play them at their own game and identify as a black female lesbian, and we'll be CEO in no time. So that's a good. I might apply for Westminster City Council and apply for the executive assistant position.
Well, funnily enough, Darren, I often see on Twitter these days, like, kind of these posts coming up of my dream team political party. And it's often Farage at the top. But I've seen a couple of tweets recently of a Darren Grimes as a deputy leader of a future reform party. So I'm going to
going to say of Westminster Council.
Yeah, I think there are bigger ambitions here for the 125 people in attendance. Do you have political ambitions? And when are we going to launch this political campaign?
I would love to serve my country in any way that I can.
Someone asked us in the comments
he's a politician already.
On the Reason podcast are going to start our own party.
Yeah,
I think we've got enough parties as it is, guys.
Still watching? Well, I've got a quick ask for you. Recent UK, we're fighting the woke brigade and inspiring young Brits, but we need your help to go bigger. We're hosting a fundraiser and would love you to sign up and share the link on the big day. It's easy, it makes a massive impact, and there are prizes for top fundraisers. Click the Google form in the description to join us. Cheers very much. Let's keep going together.